Hi, my name is Djali Brown-Cepeda, and I am the founder and curator of NuevaYorkinos, a digital archive dedicated to documenting and preserving New York City's Latinx culture and history through family photos and stories. I started this project in February of 2019 while I was visiting Dominican Republic for the first time in many years. I was in Santo Domingo and it was the nighttime, and I had watched a show that was supposed to be very remarkable and groundbreaking in its Afro-Latinidad representation. And, as someone who is an Afro-Latina, a Latina, as I like to say, who also works in media, who works in film and TV, I was very excited to see this show. But unfortunately, like many things, the show was overtly saturated with colonialism and colonial stereotypes that have never served Black and Brown people and that do not serve Black and Brown people. And so I watched the show, I finished the series, and I was mad. And in order to not go to bed mad, I did what a lot of us do, which is scroll on social media mindlessly. And I had this idea as I'm scrolling past different archival projects that I had followed and different sort of projects I knew about. And I said to myself, okay, well, where is the New York City Latinx representation, albeit on the, digisphere, in the digital space, where is that? And I looked around and I found this incredible archive from California called Veteranas and Rucas, which is run by Guadalupe Rosales. And that particular project is dedicated to the badass women of Southern California, the badass Latina women of Southern California. And though it's beautiful and it's, the work that Guadalupe is doing is incredibly important, like Blackness, Latinidad is not monolithic. And so I did not see myself, nor my experiences, nor my family's experiences, or my immediate community's experiences in this particular project, just for a few reasons, right? Different coasts, different temperatures, different demographics. And so I thought, well, I might as well do it. And so this project, NuevaYorkinos, it went through a few different iterations in the beginning. And mind you, this is still in Santo Domingo in the middle of the night. It was February, which if you go to Santo Domingo or you're Caribbean, you know that it's hot, very humid. And I'm, thinking, okay, is it NuevaYorkinos? Is it NuevaYorkinas? Is it NuevaYorkinX? To try to be inclusive of language. But then, I thought to myself, let's just keep it NuevaYorkinos, and people can identify the way that they feel most comfortable through the captions. And so I would like to read right now a very beautiful submission that I received from a woman named Catherine, who is Dominican, and it goes as such. My parents both migrated from Dominican Republic at separate times. My dad arrived as a teenager and my mom arrived in her late 20s while stuck in an abusive marriage and with 3 kids still on the island. After a few months in NYC, my mom's ex-husband was deported on drug charges and she found herself free for the first time. My mom and dad met and fell in love in Harlem. My brother and I were born shortly after. It's not a happily ever after kind of love story, but it was a real love. I think about the power of love very often, how nothing else could have held our families and spirits together in the face of an overwhelming, brutal empire that denies our value and yet extracts our labor. I love this photo of us, taken at Macy's, I'm pretty sure, because we look so cocooned with one another. Years later, my dad was able to pay the visas for my 3 older siblings to join us here. It hasn't been easy, but here we are, learning to love and connect in new ways in this world. And so I wanted to share that particular story because I think that it encapsulates so much of what NuevaYorkinos stands for and what the mission is of this project. First and foremost, I like to refer to it as a big family photo album, respectively comprised of photos and stories and recuerdos from Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico to Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico. There's something so specific and so beautiful and very different about the Latinx and by proxy, the immigrant experience in New York City. If you go to other Latinx immigrant strongholds, like a place like Miami, or, maybe even LA, it's a different sort of social fabric. And then, therefore it's a different sort of community that is born out of that fabric. But here there's something that feels so much like home. It feels like familia. You feel comforted when you hear someone speaking Spanish, or you hear somebody, listening to a salsa song that maybe it came out in the 80s. It doesn't matter because it's endless, it's timeless. And for me, NuevaYorkinos, aside from being, this family photo album, it's a political statement, right? The personal is always political. And as the country finds itself trying to navigate, a new wave of xenophobia 2.0, because this country was founded on xenophobia, I want to show that like Blackness, Latinidad is not monolithic. The news says one thing, media outlets say one thing, but we, the people who survived these, we, the people who were able to traverse these lands, whether we're, first generation ourselves or second generation like myself, NuevaYorkinos just pays homage, it pays homage to the beauty and the vibrancy that is being Latino, Latina, Latine, Latinx in New York City, and by proxy, the country. I love this project, and I hope that it continues to flourish. I hope that, I continue to receive submissions. If you are Latinx from New York City, born and raised, or, you've been here for a long time, if you have photos before 2005, please feel free to submit them. I cannot wait to read everyone's stories, and I hope that this project continues to grow.